Hello, this is the Theory King back again. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys another video. And yeah, recently I was watching the Harry Potter movies and marathon through all of them. Why I have Chamber of Secrets here, I honestly have no idea why that's the first one I grabbed, but whatever. Okay. So yeah, now there's a bunch of Harry Potter theories left and right, which I could literally make a playlist, which who knows, I mean, this is a theory channel, so I'll probably make a Harry Potter playlist eventually, who knows. But one of the things that always had me wondering was the relationships. Many people always said that Hermione should have ended up with Harry, and Ron should have ended up with, I don't know, Lavender. Who really knows? So that many people don't really seem to like the relationship with Ginny, between Ginny and Harry. They always think that it should have been Hermione and Harry, etc., etc., etc. And honestly, I never understood that. Both in the book and the movie, I will say I liked it a bit more in the movie than in the book, but besides the point, I'm more of a visual person. I always thought that the relationships made sense. So this time around, we're going to be discussing why exactly did Ginny end up with Harry Potter. So yeah, now in the first three films, so that will be Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone here in America, Chamber of Secrets, and Prisoner of Azkaban, and even the fourth one, the Goblet of Fire, you really don't have that much of an interaction between Harry and Ginny. Granted, in the second book and movie, Chamber of Secrets, the one I threw, you did have Harry save Ginny, but really past that, they never really interacted that much. You had Ginny, who from time to time, when she did talk to Harry, she was kind of like wide-eyed and bug-eyed, like in the second movie at the beginning when he's in the burrows. But aside from that, they really didn't start interacting until more or less the fifth book, which would have been Order of the Phoenix, right? Yeah, Order of the Phoenix. So why exactly? Because that's more or less when they start the relationship. In Order of the Phoenix, mostly in Half-Blood Prince, and for sure in the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2 for the movies, and Deathly Hallows complete for the books. And so why exactly did they start the relationship? Well, first off, there's already some inclination, even from the start of the series, that Hermione always had a thing for Ron. Even from the start, we saw this be more prevalent, especially in the movies, in my opinion, when it came between that relationship. One of the best scenes, in my opinion, was always when it seemed in the movies, and in the book too, but again, I'm more of a visual person. In the movie, you have Hermione, Ron, and Harry, and they see what they believe to be Buckbeak's execution. You guys remember who or what Buckbeak is? It was a giant hippogriff that Hagrid had. So yeah, so there during that execution, or what was believed to be the execution, Hermione kind of hugs Ron, and from that point on, you more or less knew there's always something between them. And even in the relationship between Ron and Lavender Brown, there was this one phrase. I don't remember if it was in the book, to be honest, but I remember it in the movie because I just saw the movies. And he was like, why do you think Dean Thomas likes Ginny? And Harry's like, I don't know, because she has good skin. And Ron literally pauses for a while, and he's like, Hermione has good skin. And Harry Potter's like, yeah, I guess I never really noticed. So yeah, so even from the start, you knew there was something there, and it just developed as the series went on. Now, as to why Harry and Ginny became a couple, I feel it has to be with the DA. Basically, the Defense Against the Dark Arts, more or less when Dolores Umbridge more or less came in, which would have been Goblet of Fire. I'm pretty sure it's Goblet of Fire. I'm thinking Half-Blood Prince in the back of my mind, but I'm like 99% sure it's Goblet of Fire at this point. Not Goblet of Fire, fuck. Order of the Phoenix. So yeah, in Order of the Phoenix, that's basically when Dolores Umbridge became the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Yeah. And then you had Harry Potter alongside Neville, Hermione, Ron, and Ginny, and Luna, who basically created Dumbledore's army, DA. And I feel like that's when they really started connecting as a couple between Harry and Ginny. I think that's when that more or less connection started, because prior to that, they were always just really acquaintances. Hey, you're my best friend's sister. Yeah, I've seen you around. I saved your life that one time. Good to know you're still okay. But it really wasn't until there with the relationship with Dean Thomas that she had earlier that year and after the breakup, he was kind of there to comfort her. I feel like that's more or less when the relationship started, because of the DA, the Dumbledore's army. I think that's when Ginny gained more respect for Harry, saw who he really was, aside from this person that saved her once and brought back Cedric Diggory's body and whatever. And again, she was one of the first people to believe Voldemort was back. Her, the rest of the Weasleys, Hermione, Neville, and Dean Thomas were some of the first people to believe not Dumbledore, Voldemort to be back after Harry came back in Goblet of Fire. And yeah, and that's excluding the teachers. I'm talking about students, Luna as well. So yeah, and I feel that's more or less when the relationship blossomed. It was during the Dumbledore's army, and honestly, I think their relationship progressed very well. I do like it. I mean, there is one kind of small little incident, I want to say, that I always kind of laugh. I don't remember if it was in the books, but I remember it. I always remember this being in the movies, and that was when Harry, Ron, and Hermione come back into Hogwarts after Snape has taken over in the seventh year. They go to Aberforth's tavern, and right, the Hogsmeade, right, and they use the portrait of Ariana Dumbledore to kind of go in between Hogsmeade and the Hogwarts school. And Neville's there. He's like, "Hey, you guys are good, great." And Neville opens the door. Everybody's cheering, and you see Ginny. And I always thought, Ginny always goes to Harry first. I'm like, and Ron said it perfectly. She's my sister. I haven't seen her in like a long time. She goes to you first. He basically said something like that. It was fucking hilarious in my opinion. So yeah, I honestly, that's why I believe. That's honestly why I believe Ginny and Harry ended up together. It's not because of love potion. I hate that fucking theory, by the way. I hate that fucking theory, by the way, because it makes no sense. It makes sense, but not really. And part of it has to do with the cursed child, which I'm not even gonna get into, because I'm gonna throw this out there. I consider the cursed child canon. You guys may want to kill me afterwards, but I don't care. I consider the cursed child canon, and the cursed child literally rewrites that whole Ginny used a love potion on Harry Potter bullshit. So yeah, honestly, I think that's where they developed their feelings for each other, like strong emotional feelings, past acquaintances, past friends, was during the Dumbledore's army days, and that's when they both garnered enough respect for each other because he trained her, she saw who he was, past this persona of him being the chosen one. He saw who he truly was, something that she didn't really see that often of him prior to this, and again, their biggest interaction before that was him saving her, which fell under the persona of the chosen one. So yeah, honestly, that's why I believe that Ginny and Harry ended up together. That's how I believe their feelings eventually settled and came to love each other and whatnot. And yeah, I actually really do like the relationship between both of them. Would a relationship between Harry and Hermione have been better? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, because that's a thing they never really explored that much in the books. In the movies, they kind of explored it a tad bit, but it was just there. The only reason they explored it is because Ron was out of the picture, and Harry needed had the responsibility, in a sense, to make sure that Hermione was doing good emotionally, and that's really the only reason they had that little dance scene. And then there's the whole issue with the Horcrux, where you had the two ghosts, I believe, or images of Harry and Hermione making out and saying that nobody likes Ron. But that's Horcrux. That's technically not valid. So, I mean, the only time they really explored that, in my opinion, in terms of Hermione and Harry being a thing, was during the dance scene in Deathly Hallows Part 1. I don't think it was in the book. That for sure, I'm pretty sure it was not in the book. But yeah, that's really the only time I could really say they actually tried or attempted to explore a relationship between Harry and Hermione past just friendship. I mean, some people, you could say maybe during the Yule Ball when Harry notices Hermione in the dress or whatever, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, she's beautiful." But that's yes, but no, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, the only time I could really say that they actually explored that idea between the two of them was during that small dance scene, and even after that, I could qualify it by saying not really. He just wanted to make sure she was okay emotionally. He was trying to cheer her up, especially in such dark times. So it doesn't really count. So yeah, that's why I believe Ginny and Harry ended up together. And honestly, again, as I said before, I really do like them. And just to piss more people off, again, I do consider the Cursed Child canon. Fuck you if you don't. I really do not care. J.K. Rowling considers it canon, so most of most of the things she says are correct. There are a few disagreements in terms of Harry Potter lore that I do disagree with her, but there's really few. There's like really few things. There's like two or three things I have to agree with her in terms of Harry Potter lore because they just don't make sense. And I will make videos about that in the future, but who knows? So that's basically it for now. What are your thoughts on Ginny? And do you like the fact that she ended up with Harry? Would you have preferred Harry to end up with Hermione? And by that logic, what do you do with Ron? Make him end up with Lavender Brown if she were to survive the Battle of Hogwarts? Because remember, she died at the end of it. And yeah, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on Ginny? And yeah, basically it for now. Subscribe, like the video, comment down below on your thoughts on all of this. This is the Theory King signing out.